Hey there, today I'm showing you 6 new slow cooker recipes. It's back to school season for so many people right now, so I tried to keep these recipes as simple as possible, and a lot of them are actually dump and go, which means you could dump everything into your slow cooker in the morning, be gone all day, and then when you come home you have a warm, delicious meal to enjoy. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's go get cooking. To kick us off today, we are making this Mississippi chicken, and if you've never made it before, I definitely think you should. So to the bottom of my slow cooker, I added 2 large chicken breasts. Next, you'll add half a packet of this au jus gravy mix. After that, you'll add in 1 tablespoon of ranch seasoning mix. And then for the peppercini peppers, I added in 6 of those. This is the brand I used, along with 1/4 cup of the juice from the peppercinis. On top of that, go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of butter. The butter's optional. You don't have to add it if you don't want to. This cooks on low for about 6 hours or until your chicken is fully cooked. After my chicken was cooked, I just shredded it up with 2 forks. Here's my plate of food. I served my Mississippi chicken over a bed of cauliflower rice. I tried to keep it lower carb, but you could serve this over mashed potatoes or regular rice. Anything you could dream of, you could serve it over. And like I said previously, I really think you'd like this one. I haven't made chicken and dumplings in such a long time, so I was super excited to make this one. To the bottom of my slow cooker, I'm adding 1 can of cream of celery and a can of cream of chicken. After that, add in 1.5 pounds of cubed chicken breast. For the vegetables, I'm adding in 1 onion that I diced into smaller pieces, 3 cups of carrots that I sliced, 2 cups of sliced celery, and then for the seasonings, I just kept it pretty simple and did 1/2 teaspoon of thyme and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. The chicken broth I added in was just 14 ounces of that, along with 1 cup of water, and then you are going to stir everything to combine. Place the lid on top. This will cook on low for about 8 hours. Here we are 8 hours later. You'll want to grab 1 can of biscuits. I used a total of 7 of these biscuits. They come with 8, but I figured that 7 worked perfectly for my slow cooker. I cut each biscuit into 6 smaller pieces, and then over to my slow cooker, I gave the mixture in there a really good stir, and now you'll want to place the smaller biscuit pieces right on top, just like this. To make sure everything has plenty of flavor, I'm sprinkling the top of the biscuits with a little dash of pepper and thyme. I cooked this on high for about 45 minutes to an hour, or until my biscuits were completely cooked and they looked something like this. This chicken and dumpling dish is so simple to throw together. You could easily make it on a super busy day, and my family loves it, and this is a really hearty meal. Now we're making one of my all-time favorites. This tortellini sausage soup is out of this world. To my pan on the stove, I added 1 pound of sausage, break the sausage up, and cook it completely through. While my sausage is cooking away, I'm going to begin on our vegetables now. So over to my cutting board, I'm just going to dice up 1 onion into smaller pieces, along with 3 stalks of celery and 3 carrots. You could always use different veggies if you don't care for any specific veggie for this recipe, but back over to my sausage. Now that it is cooked, I'm going to be removing any excess grease. Jumping over to my slow cooker, I'm adding the sausage that we just cooked up along with all of the veggies. After you add in your veggies, go ahead and add in 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes, followed by 14 ounces of diced tomatoes, and then 4 cups of chicken broth. Stir this all together, and then this will cook on low for about 7 to 8 hours. After that cooking time, your veggies should be nice and tender at this point. So go ahead and add in 4 cups of fresh spinach. It might seem like a lot of spinach, but it will wilt down to pretty much nothing. And then add in 9 ounces of cheese tortellini, and then 3/4 cup of heavy cream. The heavy cream is optional. If you don't want to add it in, you don't have to. And then I added in a 1/2 teaspoon of salt with a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Stir this all together and then cook it on high for about 20 minutes or until the tortellini is cooked. Here's my big bowl of soup. I topped mine with plenty of Parmesan cheese, of course, but this is one of those soups that I could truly eat all year round. It is just packed full of so many different things and it is so flavorsome. We love it. Now we're making this coconut curry in the slow cooker. The first time I ever made it, I was so intimidated by it years ago, but now I am seriously obsessed with it. So after I diced my 1 onion over to my slow cooker, I added a tablespoon of minced ginger and garlic. This is the ginger I use in the tube just to make my life easier. Now I'm adding in 1/4 cup of tomato paste, followed by a tablespoon and a half of garam masala. Garam masala is a great type of seasoning for this type of recipe, so if you don't have that, I definitely suggest it. Next, a tablespoon of curry powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. 14 ounces of coconut milk, and then 8 ounces of tomato sauce. Whisk this all together. The rest of the ingredients I'm adding in is just the onion that we diced up earlier, and then about 1.5 pounds of cubed chicken breast, or you could use cubed chicken thighs, whatever you prefer. Give this a really good stir to combine everything, and then cook this on low for about 6 to 7 hours or until your chicken is completely cooked. I really love serving our coconut curry with naan bread, and then I typically buy this naan bread from the grocery store. It's just pre-made. All you really have to do is stick it onto a pan, put a little bit of oil on top, and then you could season it with any type of seasonings you like. I like to keep it simple and just sprinkle parsley on top, and then I put it into the oven until it starts to crisp up a little bit and it's warmed through. It is just such a simple side to serve with this coconut curry, but here's my plate of food. I served our coconut curry over a bed of white sticky rice, and then of course that naan bread on the side. I could say this over and over again, but this recipe is so flavorful for this coconut curry, and I really think you'd enjoy it. Now we're making a classic pot roast, and this one is actually extra special because we were visiting my grandma for a few days in California, so I wanted to make everybody dinner on that particular night. I'll show you everybody in a moment though, but anyways, to the bottom of my slow cooker, I added 1/2 of an onion that I thickly sliced. On top of the onion, go ahead and add your 3-pound chuck roast. On top of the roast, add the remainder of the onion that you sliced. For the beef broth, I'm adding 2 cups of that in now, followed by 1 packet of this Italian dressing seasoning mix, and then you'll add in 1 packet of brown gravy mix, and then 1 packet of ranch dressing mix. After the ranch dressing mix, go ahead and add in 1/4 cup of water, put the lid on top, and let this cook on low for about 6 to 7 hours. Here we are about 6 to 7 hours later. The house was smelling amazing at this point. It's time to add in our vegetables. So I'm adding in 4 cups of baby carrots that I cut in half. Next, you'll add in about 4 to 5 medium-sized russet potatoes. I peeled them and cut them into larger cubes. And then 3 cups of sliced celery. Cook this on high for about 1 hour or until the vegetables are tender. Here's my plate of food. That roast was perfectly tender, and of course all the vegetables were also tender. Everything had great flavor and my entire family enjoyed it. And then here is my family. We were enjoying dessert after dinner. My sister, my mom, my daughter, my dad, of course my grandma, sister-in-law, brother, and then my husband Will. We just had some great family time. Now we're making these sweet pork burritos. To get this one started, in my measuring cup right here, I have about 1.5 cups of Coca-Cola. To the Coke, go ahead and add in 1/4 cup of brown sugar and whisk this all together. Don't knock this recipe until you try it. I've been making it for years and years. We really love it. So to the bottom of my slow cooker, I'm adding my pork tenderloin, or you could use a pork shoulder or a pork butt. You'll need about 2.5 pounds to 4 pounds of that though, and then pour that Coke mixture on top, put the lid on that, and then cook it on low for about 6 hours. After the 6 hours, remove all the liquid in your slow cooker, and then remove any excess fat on your meat, and then shred up the meat. I'm using my electric mixer to shred my pork. Now is the time you will add in your 1 can of red enchilada sauce, along with 4 ounces of diced green chilies, a tablespoon of minced garlic, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and then 1/3 cup of Coca-Cola. Stir this all together and then cook this on high for about 30 to 40 minutes. Now we're going to make this tomatillo dressing. This is optional, but I really do love adding it. It goes great over the burritos. So to my slow cooker, I added 2 tomatillos along with 1 jalapeno, a tablespoon of minced garlic, a half a bunch of cilantro, and then the juice from 2 limes. The rest of the ingredients we're going to add in to finish this dressing up is 2 cups of milk, 2 cups of mayonnaise, about 3.5 tablespoons of this ranch seasoning mix, and then you are going to process this all together until it is smooth. Once this is well combined, you are going to pour this into a Tupperware container and place it in your refrigerator to chill for at least an hour. This makes quite a bit of dressing, so we like to eat it for the next few days with chips or over leftovers or seriously over anything. It is that good. Here's my burrito. If you live in Utah or know anything about a Cafe Rio, this is kind of like a copycat recipe to that. So what I typically like to put in my sweet pork burritos is, of course, I use a tortilla. I use the sweet pork and the dressing. I put black beans in, cherry tomatoes, lettuce, cheese, lime, and this is a total hit for us. I have so many more slow cooker videos like this on my channel, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any more in the future. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.